I guess who's talking is Tamika Austin on Teamster Talk. And today we are here with Roberta Brazil, aka my twin. So when you guys see us on the internet, we're identical.
Identical.
Twin, where have you been? Introduce yourself besides being my twin. By the way, we are triplets. There is a triplet. We will go ahead and acknowledge the triplet who's in Montana, Aaron, but there's actually three of us. But for the purposes of right now, it's the twins.
So, my name is Roberta Brazil, business agent, Teamsters Local 455. I've been a Teamster for 27 years, and I am also the president of Teamster Horsemen Motorcycle Association of Chapter 3 here in Colorado. I do numerous different things.
See, she's way cooler than me. She has a really nice motorcycle, and we brought her in today because we want to talk about the horsemen because they do all of this really wonderful, cool stuff. So we're going to talk about the horsemen. I'll probably branch off because I'm a bit of a watch out. But right now we're going to talk about the horsemen. So the horseman does all this wonderful stuff for children.
Yes, we do. One of my favorite things that we used to do, we no longer do it, but when we first started, and we have been a chapter since 2012. So we are going on our 12th year. Matter of fact, our anniversary is this month. Um, we used to do backpacks for kids, which was really cool because we would just buy backpacks and we would just fill them up with all kinds of random school stuff. And then we would deliver them on our motorcycles to children in need, or people, business agents, our coworkers. People would nominate families that they think maybe need a little bit of help on school supplies. So I used to really love to do that. Now that everything's more geared electronically, the school supplies, paper, pens, and all that has really dwindled down. So we don't do that anymore, but we do stuff like we do a trunk or treat, which is a Halloween event, which is out of control. Lots of kids come in running around.
That's an understatement.
But it's fun. It's a good time for the children. They really have a good time. And then one of my other personal favorites is we do a Christmas party for children in December, obviously. And I happen to know Santa.
But yeah, you know Santa,
I do know
and you
Santa.
also know what was that green evil thing that was there
The
last year?
Grinch,
The
yes,
Grinch did show up
the
last year,
Grinch did show up,
but
and he really is a Grinch. So I know both of them.
and the funny part is you also know a sweet baby angel who no longer argues with the children at the bingo table.
Now, this interview is not about you, Tinka. So let's next. So sorry, the Christmas party. I'm a giver. That is like my love language, especially for children. I love to just see them happy that, right, they get to go sit on Santa's lap. They get to get a picture, with Santa. And we give each child a gift, a present. We let them pick out whatever they want, what is there, and we feed them as well. Um, there's times that I have seen children just come up and give me a big hug and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, and just have a big alligator tear rolling down their face because they got to see Santa. Especially during COVID, there was a little girl, particularly, that she thought she was not going to see Santa at all that year. So she just cried and cried. And I'm, trying to stand there and not cry. But she was so happy. It was just happiness. It was good to see him so happy.
And that's why I love what. So for the listeners, Roberta is the one who loves children and she's the giver and she loves these children. So it makes it fun for me because you are so passionate and like you're such a giver and like I think you get more out of it than the kids do because when I'm watching you go around and I'm just like admiring you because I'm like, look how cool she is. And then you're also badass with the other stuff you do. But it's like when you are around these kids, it's like you get this joy in your face at watching, like, especially the Christmas party. I could tell that you just love watching their faces and as they're taking the pictures with Santa and Mrs. Claus, and even with the Grinch, they get such out of it. I think you get just as much yourself out of it.
I do. I can honestly say I do. And why is that? Because it's a magical time of year, right? Um, and it's easy for me to love those kids like you seem to perceive that I do because it's at a distance, right? I have them for those couple hours that they're there. So as I can, those 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever it is, bringing out joy of those kids is nothing, right, for me, because I only have them for that bit of time. So I want to make it fun for them. I want to take stress off of parents. That's another reason why we do this, is to maybe help parents that can't get to Santa Claus, can't afford to buy extra stuff. So it also helps alleviate some extra financial burden for the parents.
And you, when I've been shopping with you, also known as the Olympic sport called shopping with Roberta,
I do love me some retail therapy.
um, like you take a lot of time. You don't just pick like you're not like just going out getting just random stuff. You take a lot of thought into the stuff that you buy and you really pick out things that you know or feel that these kids are going to want. And what's cool is they come here and then they get to pick out their gift and they're so happy. And it's not just the gifts after Santa Claus, but then when they're playing games, they get to win prizes and you have the arts and crafts table. It's actually a really fun event.
It is. It is a fun event. And I do, you're right, retail therapy. I love it. And hey, if I can spend other people's money, yeah, let's do this, right?
So what we're asking people to do is if you want to donate to the Horsemen, reach out to Roberta because I'm pretty sure she will take donations year round to help with the Christmas party.
Well, and it's not just trunk or treat at the Christmas party. So the Horseman, yes, is an organization that is designed for children's charities. But we also look out for our brothers and sisters in the Teamsters, or even just somebody who's may need some help. We try to help everybody, but we're there for Teamsters families in all aspects. We've given donations out to people that maybe are facing cancer or are down on their luck a little bit, maybe have a little injury and can't get to work. We try to help out in any way that we can, as long as we know about it. People just need to reach out to us.
And see, that's another thing I like. Just so you know, you do not have to have a motorcycle to be a part of the Horsemen. I am a part of the Horsemen. I do not have a motorcycle. I have no. I, I don't even want to get a bicycle. Let's just be honest. We all know I almost passed out walking up the stairs today. We are not doing that. But you don't have to have a motorcycle to be involved with the Horsemen. If you are a Teamster, what's the requirements? You'd have to be a Teamster, retiree, or a spouse, right?
So actually, you cannot be a Teamster, but a Teamster has to sponsor you to be a member, and obviously a Teamster spouses, yes. And now listen, Harley is the bike of choice, but we don't discriminate. As long as you ride, come out, have fun with us, and ride. Anybody can come out, and no, you don't necessarily have to own a motorcycle.
And you don't have to join to come to the events because,
It's
it's,
free. That's one thing I miss, to say about those events is we fundraise and we do get donations. So these events are free for the children and for the families.
see, that's amazing, especially in this day and age. I feel like it costs to do everything. Trust me, I, it costs a lot to.
It does. It
It
does
is.
cost a lot.
And it's kind of nice, especially like I said, the Christmas party. I keep coming back to that. You come to the Christmas party, and it's just nice to watch these kids get something because I don't know everybody's situation, but you just never know if this might be the only gift that this kid gets all Christmas because,
Yep.
things happen, life happens, and it's just kind of nice to watch that part of it.
Yes, it is. I get great joy from it.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about something that sometimes brings you joy and doesn't bring you joy. As you said, you're a business agent, which I know you're a business agent for this wonderful company that we like to call UPS.
With the ups, you got to take the downs, right?
It's a very interesting place that we work at, isn't it?
It is.
And you were there for how many years before you became a business agent?
20 years.
You probably saw a lot because you were in overgoods.
Oh, I saw a lot in overgoods. I saw a lot. My favorite was when I was a hazmat responder, being mobile, right? Moving all around the hub. I definitely saw a lot. A lot of supervisors working. A lot of grievances came from that. So
What's one bit of information or one bit of advice you would give members? Like, because you were the one that inspired me. You were like the one that's like, come on. If, like, let's just be honest, if there was no Roberta and Scott Ford and Alan and Steve, like, none of this, you guys wouldn't know who I was because you guys inspired me to get involved, especially you, because I would see you at work and you'd be like, are you going to go to the meeting? I'm looking at you like, but then now look.
Here you
So
are.
here I am.
Um, First off, I want to just tell people don't let them get into your head. We like to battle them all the time. And by them, I mean management and UPS. Um, do yourself a favor. Get out of your head with them. Don't let them get in your head. It's a job, it's just boxes. It's not worth getting in a fight with management about to lose your job. Because let's face it, today's society, arguing and fighting and cussing at UPS and maybe any industry right now, you're going to lose your job. So keep your cool. It's just a job. Take a deep breath, walk away. Don't lose your cool in front of them.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, you brought that up. I just had a 20 plus year driver. I understand. We get frustrated. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna repeat the story, but I found it entertaining. And so back 10 years ago, we could have resolved this and this person would be back to work. But now he's gone. Well, he's retired. You know, he took the retirement option.
Mhm.
And when I talk about what he got in trouble for, I'm amazed because I'm like, I remember one time I watched two grown men get into a whole fisticuffs at UPS
Mhm.
and they both came back.
Right.
But it's not like that anymore.
It is not. It's absolutely not like that anymore. I guess I must be getting old because now I'm saying, remember the good old days when you could go fisticuff and work it out and get your job back? No, it's not like that anymore. It's,
And that's kind of crazy because, like we were just saying, there used to be a time when your years of service counted for something.
yes. Yep.
So you could have a bad day and it would be fine. But now it's in the member's best interest to basically file grievances to enforce the contract because you yelling at them, they win. But when you put paperwork on there and you file soup working grievances and you hold them accountable for payroll errors, because there used to be a time when you kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt and be like, hey, you guys, I didn't get paid my vacation check. And then you got to check the next day.
Mhm.
Well, now I've got people on vacation this week that didn't get paid. What should I do? File a grievance.
Yeah, it's crazy where this company has ended up from um, 1997 when I was hired. Just the difference in the whole environment. Um, it yeah, it's crazy.
They have the not in our house signs, which are great. But then they don't tell you about the fact that they say not in our house and all this stuff that they don't want you to do, but they in turn do the things that they have the sign for, which is basically being nice to each other. And to me, being nice to me means making sure I get paid for my vacation. And if I'm coming to you as a member, whether you're a package car driver or you're inside the hub, if you bring something to their attention, that we try to, in good faith, work it out together. But it doesn't seem like they do that now. Or is it just me?
No, it's not just you. It is that way. Um, I remember, kind of going back in our conversation, you're asking me, um, being involved in everything. When I got my full-time 22/3 job, even before that, when I was a part-timer, I would see stuff happen and I'm like, that just didn't seem right, right? Um, and so that's when I knew that I pay money to this organization, Teamsters Local Union 455. I pay my dues. So I threw myself into it 100% being involved. So I knew the contract, so I could educate my coworkers. And so I knew that if it didn't seem right, it probably wasn't right. So the best thing anybody could do is when you're not letting them get in your head, is get involved. I mean, you really need to get involved. You need to know your contract. You need to know your rights under the contract because they violate your rights every single day. And if you're going to just sit on your hands and do nothing, then nothing is what you should expect. And stop bitching about it if you're not going to do anything.
100%. I'm always amazed when it turns into the telephone game because, I tend to go to the UPS hangout by the Commerce City Hub. And it blows my mind how these people spend 8, 12, 10 hours in a truck, sometimes 14 hours. And they never say anything outside of, I came to work, my start time's at 9. They never call me or the union stewards any other time until they feel they're that upset. And I'm like, get to know your contract, get involved before then. Because I'm telling you, if you're getting involved before then, you'd be amazed. It changes the tone of how they deal with you when they know if I violate Tamika's 9-5, she's going to file a grievance. Because I'll be honest, I'm on the 9-5 list and I just don't want to work 14-hour days.
And I think that is all drivers that are on the 9-5 list. It just disgusts me when I hear management say they're only on the 9-5 list because they want more money. And I'm like, no, they are on the 9-5 list because they have a life. They have a family. They want to tuck their children in. They want to kiss them goodnight. They want to have a dinner with them every now and then. That's why they are on the 9-5. They don't want to work over 9.5 hours. That's not how the company sees it.
They don't see it that way. And I'm like going, but dude. And the crazy part is if they actually follow the 9-5 language, what would be cool is one, they'd have to create more routes, which means no layoffs and no super working. I know it's a crazy thought that we would ask them to.
Well, that's too logical, Tamika. No, come on. You can't put logic in with this, right? I mean, just look at January to current. They did a hiring freeze. They cut out routes. They put more volume on drivers, right? They're not making it easy. And it's you're right. The UPS back then they would work with you. But the UPS now, it's all about numbers.
And that's what I hope the members hear from this part of our conversation. Know your contract. If you have questions, then reach out to your stewards, reach out to your business agents, and ask questions and let us know. Because sometimes there's things that happen that there's how many UPS members do you have at your two buildings? You got a couple hundred?
Well, it's more than that. I'm bad. I really have not sat down and figured out the numbers because they're more than numbers to me. They're people, they're coworkers, they're people that I want around still. So I don't know. I would have to say I have at least 600 to 800 people.
Okay, 600 to 800 people. We can't see everything that the 600 to 800 people are seeing. So talk to your union steward. If you don't know who your union stewards are, um, every UPS facility has union boards and the information's on there. Call, reach out to people, have those conversations. If you don't understand, trust me, we all answer our phone calls all the time. And so ask us questions and we'll answer them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, now my fun question. Well, this is because I get different versions. So LMG,
Oh, man.
LMG. What's the leaner part mean?
Leaner definitely is not me. um, just no, leaner is that we need to cut off the excess, the people that are just not going to do anything, not going to help, right? To me, that's what leaner means is that, listen, we need to tighten it up. We need to stop being lax and everything, enforce it a little bit better.
Okay. What about the mean? What's mean to you?
It goes hand in hand with the leaner, right? For me, because in order to do that, you're going to have to, you can't have thin skin. You're going to have to thicken it up and you're going to have to tell people the truth. I know sometimes we want to sugarcoat things, right? We don't want to tell people the truth, but we owe it to not only management and everything to be a little bit meaner on them and not be so quick to work things out, but we also owe it to the members too that we need to be straightforward with them.
And I don't think people understand when I agree with you. I think that sometimes when we're telling people the truth, because sometimes it's not fun to tell these people you consider your friends and family, hey, I love you to death, but you got to come to work. Or I love you to death, but you got to report the accident. It's not a fun conversation when we have to go to our members and say, yeah, we're wrong. So I get it. So what about the green part?
Well, the green part, um, no, it has nothing to do with 420 in Colorado. The green part is uh, telling these companies it's time to pay up. Your workers are the backbone of your company. Your workers are the one who is making those profits for you. Stop giving these nickel raises, thinking it's the best offer ever. Pay up, suckers. That's what that means.
Absolutely.
Pay up.
Carol told me made how many in bonuses? We don't even want to mention.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. I'm telling you, she's going to have a better vacation than I am, which is fine because she signed up to be the CEO face of the company. But there's nothing wrong with us asking for her to cough up a little green because she sure is making a lot of money off of us.
At a lot of money, and it's just I know it's just a simple concept. Um, just show your people that you love them, take care of them, right? They're the ones keeping that business afloat. They're the ones who will show up every day. They're the ones who are your face to the customers, right? You don't want to pay them. You want to be mean to them and everything. Well, I probably wouldn't perform very well if that was the case.
I said that earlier. I swear to God, if I can feed your greedy nephew and that dog, and I can have if I can have like a wage where I can support my family, I'm gonna go to work. And I swear to God, you're gonna get the best out of me because I'm not freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, milk costs $5 a gallon. It's something about when I can support my family and maybe you have a little bit extra for Taco Tuesday. Like it makes you still got to go to work. We all got to go to work. But it's something about if I can do that little bit of extra stuff, it's like, okay, cool. You get the best of me at work. And then when I'm at home, then they don't have to get 10% of me because I just gave you 90.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay.
You know that's right.
Now, ready? Remember that time I made up a game for the podcast?
Nope.
And then I told you about it? Okay.
Nope. I don't remember.
She doesn't remember because it's already in her brain. Okay, ready? What can we learn from those that came back before us, way back then?
Well, what I've learned is that nothing comes for free. That's what way back then has taught me, right? The benefits that I have today, not just through a contract, but people, the benefits that are laws now that people don't realize back then fought for these rights that we have today. FMLA, um, sick time, vacations, 8-hour workday, right? Pay
Section.
overtime pay.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on and on and on. So listen up, youngins that are listening to this. People did die, and people really fought then for what you have now, and not just contractually, but through law as well.
Okay. What can we learn now from like the younger kids that like this newer generation? Because, I feel like there's this, I think we're all saying the same thing, but it's almost like it's going like they think we're not listening to them, and then we think they're not listening to us. What can we learn from them? The now, like,
The youngers
yes.
that are working, um, I think we need to just hear them out. We need to stop thinking we know absolutely everything because we don't. We need to listen to them so they can teach me the technology that I don't know. Just kidding. But no, they want to be heard out. They listen. They want to tell us things, but we're so quick to cut them off because we've been doing this job for 20 years, we've been doing this job for 30 years, 50 years, whatever it is. We know everything. We don't. But even if we did, listen to them, listen to maybe a different way that they want to take on the fight and see what we could do, open our minds up to go a different direction, to take on some contractual language a different way, right? We may know it because we've been doing it for a while, but they don't know. And what I've noticed is this younger generation, uh, they say time repeats itself, right?
Hmm.
So what I'm seeing is, and this is just my opinion, I don't care if people agree with me or not, my opinion. We had a core, huge union precedents, right?
Mhm.
So then we have all these people fighting for our rights, getting us good contracts, getting us good benefits, money, healthcare, pensions. I think that there was a time where, oh, we got really complacent. I got fat and happy because, hey, as long as you don't touch my wage, as long as you don't touch my health care, and as long as you don't touch my pension, I'm happy. I don't care what you put in that contract. And I really think that there's a time where people did think that. So they wouldn't vote on their contract or anything because they were happy, fat and happy. They were
Mhm.
complacent. Well, now I see this younger generation coming up. And this is where it's going to me is repeating itself. I'm noticing this younger generation wants to be involved. They want to educate people. They want the education. They want to move forward and lay a foundation out to keep this going.
And I think that's so important because, like, when people do the history, and I've been saying this the last couple episodes, because I want them to go and do their own research. You have to understand the decline in the middle class has been the decline in unions. There are places, there are countries in the world where they have high union density. So when we're sitting here and we're saying, oh my God, why are unions so important? Well, when you look at, if you go Google these high density countries, they have benefits, they have days off. They don't have the same issues we have. And what we're saying is we need to keep this going because if there's no middle class, it really will turn into the Hunger Games. There will be those that have, and then the rest,
The have nots.
the have nots. So this is not a game, you younger people. You should be getting involved because you've been in, you said 27 years?
Yep.
I'm pushing 20 years. Like, I don't know how much longer. I know both of us look fabulous, but I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this.
I speak for yourself, but no.
I'm saying, like, I'm like, we want to go the same way that everyone else is going and enjoying it. I can't wait till we're both retired and you're on your motorcycle and I'm following behind in my car. It will not be a smart car. And I'm just following behind and we're just brazing this little trail of going around. I don't know where we're going to go yet. We haven't had that discussion. But that's what I can't wait for. And I want this younger generation to realize when we're done, you guys get to take up the mantle and you can keep everything that we've gained and build on that.
Well, that's all fine and well, right? We know we got to pass the torch off, but what we're not doing is educating as we're passing the torch, right? We're just keeping everything to ourselves. Not so much, I mean, we're evolving and we're changing in that aspect. But we've got to really educate this younger generation, which I'm so glad that the young regulators are out there doing that, educating, showing people, hey, you don't have to go to college, right? There's good, high paying jobs out there for the middle class and everything. But we have got to educate, educate, educate. Why union? Right? We don't do that. I knew who Hoffa was, right? Because a little bit of the era. My mom was IBEW. She worked for Mountain Bell at that time and everything. My mom worked very hard. Um, I'd probably see her for an hour a night. She'd come home and eat, and then she'd have to leave again, right? She's raising four children. She'd have to leave again to go to the next, overtime so she could put food on the table and everything. But because she had a good union job, um, I knew that's what she was doing. So I've always had a sense of union in me. Um, yeah, I don't know how I got off in that way, but
Don't
anyway.
worry. Well, that's interesting that you say that because, well, I did not grow up in a union family. I think I'm probably the first big unionist in my family, and my family's huge. And it always blows my mind because I always tell people there's a parallel between union and civil rights as far.
Right, the union was huge on civil rights, especially Teamsters, right?
Mhm.
Because we were interracial. We wanted everybody. We want everybody to succeed in everything. So,
What can they learn from us? Like the younger kids, what can they learn from us? I would say rather.
that's a hard one, right? I mean, I was just talking about educating. That's what they need to learn from us. Um, I have a couple nephews that are Teamsters, which I'm very proud of them. Give them a shout out. Woo! Michael Jordan, yeah.
That's great, nephews.
Um, we need to educate them. But sometimes I see with the younger generation, right? I'm sitting here saying, we need to hear them out.
Mhm.
But it's a two-way street too, right? Because this younger generation, like they know everything. And we did too when we were in our 20s or 30s. We did. But slow down a little bit and hear us out as well, right? So we can leave you um, ways to fight things and lay that path down to continue that path going on.
I agree. Sometimes I'm like, I promise y'all, I'm gonna find the different way to do it than what you do, but we're both gonna get to the same goal.
Right. And that's what
So
it's
cool.
about. Same goal.
So, did you have fun with me?
Yes.
Thought you were gonna say no.
That's a weird question. We're doing a pancake fundraiser. Well, it's a pancake breakfast on 420. So we'll be serving pancakes, all you can eat. We have bacon, we have sausage. We'll be having some drinks as far as, milk, juices.
Oh,
And guess what, Tamika? Yes, there will be mimosas at this event, but it is a fundraiser. It's $10 a person, $5 for children, and that does go towards Horsemen charities.
and if you would like to just donate and you would like for me to have all the mimosas and bacon to my heart's content, then they will also take donations for that.
And that is on April 20th at 9 a.m., 9 to 11, here at the Union Hall, 10 Lakeside Lane. Well, we are working on we used to have a website, but we weren't getting a lot of hits on that. And we were honestly paying too much for it. So we've stopped that. But we do have um, Rain Man, AKA Brian Bucher, who is creating a new website for us. They're donating their time and everything. So it's not going to be a monthly fee or anything. So once we have that up and going, we will have a website, but we are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. It's THMA Chapter 3. And the very first Sunday of every month, we have our membership meeting. So I know some people come, some people don't show up.
Some people oversleep because they be doing too much.
But yeah, if they want to pop in for Sunday of the month at 10 a.m. here at the Union Hall.
And then sometimes you guys do a ride, don't you?
Yeah, June 2nd, we'll be doing one of our rides after the meeting.
Do you know where you're going yet?
Yeah, we're going to go up to Loveland. We're going to go to a place for lunch called Charlie Al's. Then we're going to go check out Bucky's since it's the hot thing right now.
Yeah,
And
but
then we're going to go over to Estes Park and back down, depending on the time. I heard you can spend hours and
you can.
hours. And
Facebook for Teamsters Local 455.com. You can find us at Teamster Talk on Facebook and Instagram. Know your
looks like
power.
you got YouTube up there too.
Know your power. Use your power. Union power. Thank you, Roberta Twin, for coming to hang out with me.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
You